Leah, we have seen you in Married at First Sight. There's a lot of moments that are shown, but actually they don't show the context.
Yeah.
What was real? What bits did we not see?
It was very clever what they did. They things that we were saying, they made it look a bit like a flirty scene. There was a scene where I got couple swapped with Leisha. She's a nutter lunatic. And people were watching it like she's trying to lure Leisha in. For one, Leisha's absolutely not me type. Two, I've got a better game than that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I went into the show, the producers called me up and was like, can I have an off the record chat with you? And I was like, go on. They was like, are you where you're on the spectrum? Then I got thrown into the show 2 weeks later. So I was a bit like, ugh. I watched myself and I actually felt sorry for myself at some times.
We look at a lot of the positives that go on in Married at First Sight. Are there any negatives that you experienced? Leah, we have seen you in Married at First Sight, but how would you describe yourself?
I'd say I've got a lot more depth to me than what you see on TV. I was very like calm and just taking everything in there. But yeah, I'm a more caring person. I care for everybody else. And sometimes I don't put myself forward and my feelings, first before anything else.
When you went on the show, there's a lot of obviously moments that are shown, but actually they don't show the context of what goes on. What was real and what was actually missing? What bits did we not see?
There was loads of stuff. I mean, everything. I thought these shows were very false. Reality TV, I see very false. It's very hypocritical me doing it because I'm not really into reality TV. But I thought it was all going to be very fake. It wasn't. A lot of it was real. Everything was real that you're seeing. But I think where it wasn't real is they missed out things like that were said, or maybe you've said something. So there was a scene, right? Leisha, the Scottish one, and I'd been branded this flirt from day one by Lee. She said I was this, I was that, whatever. I'm just a very complimentary person. I still stand by it. Everyone that knows me knows what I'm like. I'd never disrespect someone, and that's to my core. So there was a scene where I got couple swapped with Leisha. She's a nutter lunatic, and I got given date card, like a game, when we go out, and people were watching it like she's a predator, going out. She's took date cards. She's trying to lure Leisha in. For one, Leisha's absolutely not me type. Two, do you think in a million years I'm going to take date cards out with me and try and I've got a better game than that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way it was very clever what they did. They things that we were saying, they made it look a bit like a flirty scene. But I laughed at it. I watched it and I thought, well done. That's good producing, I think, because that's making the viewers think something totally different happened that didn't. But other than that, mine was all pretty real. Like what you see and is what happened.
Yeah. And what I saw was somebody who was really kind of holding her own there. Somebody who almost had some armor around her. Do you think that you sort of come from a place of confidence, or was that more of a protective shield?
I think at the point in the show, it was where how you seeing me being quite calm and whatever. I think actually I was trying to protect myself because actually I wasn't okay at all. I had psych meetings off camera. I didn't take any of my feelings to camera because I didn't want that. I don't know if it was attention. I didn't want people to know I was struggling in there. That was probably from a pride point of view because I'm not a person who really struggles like that. But also I think people watch it and they see Lee going on at me and on at me and on at me for something or something I've done wrong this time. And I'd be like, yeah. I wasn't sitting there being cocky because I was confident that I was in like control of the situation. I was sitting there thinking, please stop. And I was just telling myself, it's going to be over, it's going to be over, it's going to be over. So yeah, I think it was a protection thing.
Yeah, and you said to me that you don't like arguing and you don't like conflict.
Hate it.
And it was, I think that really showed.
Yeah.
And that obviously description of you sort of processing that information and like, I'm not going to react. Is that how you are generally in relationships, friendships and love relationships?
Friendships, I'm very cutthroat, and in the sense of I'll always tell you my honest opinion. If my friend comes to me and says, I'm going to do this, what do you think? I'll be like, no, you're not. Don't do that. And I'll say truly what I believe. I'll never tell you what you want to hear, because I would want my friend to be honest with me too. In relationships, I'm the same, but I think I'm more... Like I'm very much, I want my partner to do better than me. I push them to do, and I'm in a relationship now where we're both very, very like that. And it's so nice. But I think it's so good to have that honesty all the time. So I am like that. I'm too honest. Sometimes my friends say you're too honest. But I think that's a spectrum thing.
Yeah, and you know, talk to me about, you've brought up spectrum because we had a conversation, and I think... I actually did an episode after we first spoke, and you were like, you definitely got ADHD.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Have I? Talk to me about that, because I think it's a real interest for women, especially, you know, I'm obviously in my midlife, and from what I've heard is that when you go through the menopause, you can suddenly become ADHD.
Can you?
Yeah, because your brain starts to function slightly differently. And I think, or is it that maybe we're more aware of our kind of behavior patterns? Now, I haven't been diagnosed, and I'm choosing not to be, because I'm actually embracing that. And having spoken to you, especially now, like both of our brains just like go 100 miles an hour, but I find that that's my superpower.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your experience with that, and also how that affected you on the show as well.
So I don't really like that the word ADHD gets branded about everywhere. Everyone's like, oh, you're autistic, you're ADHD, you're this, you're this, you're that. I've been getting told since a very young age that I am like autistic or on the spectrum, friends, family, whatever. I was always definitely different growing up. And when I went into the show, prior to going in, we have like so many psychoanalysis, so many one-to-ones with psychs, and you know, mine had come back. Before I went into the show, one of the producers called me up and was like, can I have an off-the-record chat with you? And I was like, go on. So the psychs have all noted something with you. I was like, go on, what? I thought, fucking hell, what now? And they was like, are you aware you're on the spectrum? And I started laughing. I was like, I'm in the age group where it's kind of, I know it's branded about now with everyone younger, and everyone seems to have it, right? But I'm in that age group where it still wasn't really a thing. You know, when I was a kid, I just struggled in school. I was a bit, people see me as like maybe a bit naughty or a bit cheeky, but it wasn't. I actually had that. I was masking it. But I think I'm still in that age group where I didn't really believe it. Not believe in it, but I was just like, oh, everyone is, whatever. And he was like, no, well, you know, we need to know so we can support you. And I was like, well, I've never been diagnosed now. And he went, well, I'm going to put you in touch with a one-to-one with a coach just to see how you are. I was like, right, okay. Had this one-to-one. The lady's like, look, I can't diagnose you. You need a full test. But if I was going to, I'd say you're probably ADHD, autism. I was like, right, okay. Then I got thrown into the show 2 weeks later. So I was a bit like, ugh. I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell anyone. And I got put with the person who was training to be therapist, whatever she's training to be. And she was telling me from day 4 on the honeymoon, you're autistic. And I was like, why? I think I was like methodically packing my bag. I don't know what I was doing. Probably something a bit weird. And I was like, yeah, I do get told that, to be fair. And what always stuck with me, right, is if you think that about me, if you genuinely believe I'm autistic, why the hell are you blindsiding me all the time? Why are you making my life hard? Because I'm telling you now, if I knowing how autism, ADHD feels, if I thought someone was that, I certainly wouldn't be making their life hard. I'd be thinking, how can I make their life easier? Because they may struggle with something that I'm not going to struggle with. So, yeah, poor on her behalf. But I think the whole show, they're very supportive, and the fact that they wanted to make sure, because, you know, I don't like sudden change the plan. So it could be you call time 7 a.m. and then they knock on the door at 6. And I was like, whoa. this is not in the plan. And no, well, we need to change it. And that's the type of thing with TV, how it works. So I struggled with that. So they were trying to be supportive with that. But yeah, come out of the show, I struggled all the way through that show. I didn't take it to camera, come off it. And I thought, do I go and get tested? And I'm like you, I'm like, if I am, I am. I'm not going to start taking pharma meds because I don't really believe in them. I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I thought, what's the point? But when I watched it back and stuff, I was like, right. So yeah, I went and got tested and I was ADHD, autistic. So everyone was right. But everyone believed it but me.
Yeah. But and I think when you just said, when I look back at the show, I do a lot of work in my coaching about looking back at our lives and looking back at ourselves. And we don't ever really take that time to look at ourselves in a really deep, analytical way.
Yeah.
Emotionally analytical, if there's such a thing. When you watched yourself back, and I know we just covered it before, was there a specific moment that you feel that you have taken something away from that has changed for you now in terms of your personality, the way that you show up in the world?
Yeah, I suppose when I come out of the show and I watch it back, I see and I watch myself and I actually felt sorry for myself at some times. And I'm not like that about myself at all. But I was like, why are you not saying something? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, da-da-da. And you watch it like that. And people say you need to watch your show back 3 times. There's not a chance in hell I want to watch that again. Like, I haven't even finished the show, by the way. I've never even completed it because I found it boring because it's like watching home videos. But like, there was a time, when was it now? Towards the end of the show where she didn't turn up to homestays and she was all like, she made me feel really insecure. I had anxiety on the day because she didn't turn up to my homestays on the day. But that night we'd been together. We'd gone home. We'd had a laugh together. So I was like, the next day I was like, why is she not picking up the phone? Why is she not coming? And I was stressing out like, what have I done now? What have I done now? And I think I watched that episode back and I think that is so false. Because you were fine. But I watch it back now and I just realise we're different people. I'm authentic, you're not. And I'm not going to sit and slag someone off because it's absolutely irrelevant to me, that person. But I think you can really see when you watch that back who's authentic and who's not authentic. Now I know people. So there was loads of times, I can't even pinpoint one moment, but there was loads of different moments I watched back and I think, I wish I had that, the real me, you know, the stronger person, the confident person, to be like, who the fuck are you talking to? Because that's not me who would take that at all.
But if you had behaved like that,
I would have been hated.
Right.
So I'm glad, I'm grateful for how it went. I'm grateful I've come out. People saw me for me. I'm grateful and I'm relieved that, because, you know, you do a TV show like that, you are so susceptible to trolling, to people just disliking you for no reason. I am one normally that will say things without thinking. There was a couple of things I said in that show where I watch it back and me and my friends sit and laugh because it was so random out of the blue, you know, like things I've said. And I don't know, like I was just me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's what showed through, that you were being your authentic self, as you said. You were being real, and that's probably why I was so drawn to you. And I think most of the nation were drawn to you too.
But I'd never watched the show either, and I think that shows too. I think people who are big MAFS fans, and then they go and apply for the show, and they want to be on it, and they've watched it, like, probably planned everything out. They know what's coming, so they know how to act. And these people are acting out how they think people want to see them. So some people go in there with a game plan and it always backfires. If you go in there completely oblivious, you've never watched the show, how do you know what's going to come to you to act out? Do you know what I mean? And it shows.
I know everybody's going to ask me or want me to ask this question, the dinner parties. And this actually wasn't on my list of questions, but I want to ask you because it's what I think my listeners would want to know. What is it really like when you go into a dinner party? Is it very staged and set up? Is it that have you seen the other contestants during the time?
So what happens is on the day of a dinner party, we're filming for hours. So we get up at like 5, 6 a.m. We have to get ready, do get ready shots. So you're getting ready at 5 a.m., right? get ready shots. You film in your apartment before going to the taxi over there. Then when you get chauffeured in the car that you get filmed in as well, you then get put, we called it the chicken coops. They were just like, like them white little office block things that get put on stilts in like schools. They say out them in schools.
Yeah.
What are they called? Little
I know what you mean
cabins.
though. Yeah, cabins.
So we all had a cabin each per couple.
Right.
And you can't see each other before you go into film with all together because everyone wants your first reaction of, oh, what's she got on, la la la. So we all get cooped up in these chicken cabinet things and you're sitting there for hours. And then what happens is you have the pre-drinks thing that you see. Yeah, we go into that bit.
Yeah.
And then one by one, each couple goes in, you're still in your chicken coop. And then you all see each other there. And then you sit in that, it's called the mixer.
Right.
You sit in the mixer, you all drink for like 4 hours in the mixer. So you're all quite tipsy going into the dinner party.
Right.
And then we come out, we have dinner, like a dinner behind the scenes. And then we go back into the dinner party where all these dinners are laid out for us after we've just eaten in the chicken cabinet. And I'm the only one, I think, on the whole table. I think John used to as well eat the dinner in front. It was always cold, like chicken dinner. It was always cold. But I used to eat it because I used to think, what are we meant to do? Like, It's in front of me. It's just like you awkwardly just eat it. And then that's how it all, but you're filming in the dinner party then for like a further 6 hours.
Right. So the scenes are set up, but the conversations are not set up at all.
No.
So everything's completely real that comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
They might prompt you, like say something's happened in the night before or something like that, or say something's going on with a couple. They may prompt you to be like, oh, what happened? Because like you've got to think. So a dinner party, say something's happening with a couple, like say Beck and Bailey are having, I don't know, a little kerfuffle or whatever. I'm obviously already going to know about that because I was with them like the day before, probably together. But there's things like that may get repeated. They try and tell us, don't speak to each other, don't hang around with each other, but obviously we're going to. So there's things like that. You might get a prompt like, oh, ask her how it's going. But it was all quite natural. It all just kind of flowed a lot of the time. So you didn't really need to do that. But they don't put words in your mouth ever.
Right. Yeah, because I think that's an interesting.
I thought that's what they did. They don't.
Yeah, because I've seen some of the diary bits.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, I wonder if they've been told,
No.
or they've been told to act something out.
No.
Going back to you in relationships and you going into that show, and obviously you were paired up with somebody who was quite difficult, and we have discussed that. How do you see your patterns in a relationship now from having been on that show?
I think when I come out of the show, I was just like, I cannot be with anyone right now. But I knew that the next person I got with needed to be someone who was on the same wavelength, who doesn't like confrontation, who doesn't want to argue, who is just easygoing, mellow person. And I think the pattern I always went for before is, well, I mean, I didn't ask for someone like Leah, I got the opposite with her, but the patterns with my old relationships, it was like I wanted someone a bit fiery. I wanted someone who would go in a room and everyone would chat to them and all of that. I love that about people because they're the type of strangers I get attracted to and drawn to. But I've realised that actually you probably can, but two people being very, chatting to everybody and the loudest person in the room doesn't always work. And I think it was never meant to happen, me getting with Maz so soon after the show. It really wasn't. Like, that was never in my plan. I wanted to be single. I needed like time to decompress that show. But it fell at the right time. It felt right. She was soft, like open. She got it. She's in the public eye with football. And she was just like, do your thing. Like, when you're ready, let me know. Just all very cool and calm. And I was like attracted to that because I was like, God, that's what I need.
So some people may not know who your girlfriend is. Can you just explain who she is and kind of really what that connection means to you?
So she is a girl I've known from 10, 11 years ago. We used to play football together. Always kind of kept in touch, but she's a footballer for Everton. So she's in that space of public eye already, gets it. And I suppose Yeah, it's been nearly a year now. It's been a relationship that I've needed in terms of, I think we both needed actually. I believe in the invisible string theory, you know that? And I think we've always been connected, but we were never meant to meet properly and rekindle until now. And it's just like, it's the first person in a very, very long time where I've been like, I'm probably going to end up marrying you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
But,
and we talked about the fact that you'd actually known each other for quite some
Yeah.
time. And I said to have a friendship as a basis
Yeah.
of a relationship first. And sometimes we look for that new person.
yeah.
But actually,
Sometimes
if
it's
you
in
look
your
back,
circle.
yeah.
I think, yeah. So we weren't like good friends or anything like that. We played football together 11 years ago now, 10, 11 years ago. And we always kept in touch with social media. And I'd come out of the show to quite a lot of messages from her and stuff like, we need to re-catch up. And I just thought, do you know what? It'd be nice to just see a face that I know who's calm, nice energy, who doesn't demand a load of attention from me, who just wants to sit and listen, you know, like, and just have a nice time getting to know each other. So we did kind of, although we knew each other from a younger age, it was kind of like getting to know someone again still. But like I said, it was just easy.
Yeah. I want people to know and see you outside of MAFS. Like, talk to me about Leah growing up. Who is Leah?
So I always had like a very nice childhood. Like, I've come from a background of like loving, caring home, being quite lucky in that sense. And my family, when I was age 14, were like, right, we're moving to Cyprus. My mum and dad were like, had this in their head. My brother was only 4 or 5 at the time. We're moving to Cyprus. And I was like, whoa. No, I'm not. Like, you think at that age that I had a boyfriend, I had my best friend. It's that's an awkward age to pick a kid up and move. And I was like, I'm not going. And my dad was like, unless you want to go to university, which he knew I definitely didn't, you're coming. And I was like, and I was predicted all like unclassifieds and stuff for GCSEs. So I was like, I'm going to get my head down. And I come up with 3 Bs and 2 Cs. He said, if you get grades, you can stay. So I went and knuckled down.
Amazing.
And I got 3 Bs and 2 Cs. He was like, fucking hell. But then what happened was, and I believe this is like the whole thing of like what's meant to be, we went to leave in like, say the argument's sake, like the April or something, and the house sale fell through. And I decided to stay and try and do college. I picked all the same stuff that my friends were taking because I wanted to just stay. So I was doing law, psychology, just stuff I was never, psychology I'd be interested in now, but law, absolutely not. And I was picking all stuff that they wanted to do just to stay. And I literally lasted probably a couple of months and I was like, what am I doing? I'm just defying my mum and dad when I don't need to. Do you know what? I'm going to try it. So I moved there and I straight away got involved with like a load of like friends that were older. They were like 18, 19. I was just a kid. So I wanted to work in Bar Street to be around loads of people. My dad was like, you're not doing that. And I was like, you've moved me here. Let me do what I want to do. So he was like, right, you can go into a bar, but you're only allowed to work in the bar, not on the out. Don't be a tout and all that. And I was like, fine. So I was selling jelly shots, like a young teenager selling jelly shot girl. And I was fab at it. I was just smashing through. I was selling them everywhere. That's where I realised I had a flair for sales. And then every now and again, I'd jump on the road and I'd be like, guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be getting people in. And the main guy at the bar was like, you'd be really good PR. Long story short, I'd done it for years. And I ended up being like the highest paid in Bar Street. I had people under me. I was like top PR and stuff. Loved it. And then I just followed the sun round for like 10 years. So I go traveling in the winter. At age 25, I was like, I need to grow up. Like, I can't just party the rest of my life. I've done events and PR and threw parties in New Zealand and stuff like that. And I was like, I need normality. I'm going to try and move to England. And I think I tried once, lasted 6 months, come back. And then I think I hit 25, 26. I was like, I'm really going to give it a go. Moved to Manchester, ended up being there 5 years. Commitment issues, didn't want to like buy a house, didn't want to get a phone contract. So I was sure that wasn't going to last. 5 years later, I was like, oh, I quite like England. Like, a lot of people say they hate England, but they don't move. I find that really weird.
Yeah.
I like England. I think England's a cool place. If it was hot all the time in England, you wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah.
It's got everything. And believe me, I've lived all over the world, like Australia, New Zealand, parts of Asia. Like England actually has everything you ever want. It's just the weather.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a house in Formby, so where I'm actually originally from. I went back there from Manchester, bought a house by the beach, and then been there for the 5 years now. So then got into male-dominated industry when I moved to England. Worked my way up in that company for them 10 years. Worked for the same guys, really, really good guys. And then it was September 2024. I went into my directors and I sat them down. I said, listen, I've worked for you for 10 years. I want to go on my own. I want to open my own consultancy business. I'm too well connected not to do well. Let me do it. If you care about me, you let me do it. They were like, didn't want to let me go. And I came out of that meeting and I had 4 missed calls from Channel 4 CPL. And I was like, what the hell? Because the year before they tried to get me to go on the show. So they had my number. And I'd gone along with it the year before and pulled out because I was too scared. I thought, I'm not doing that. I can't do TV. And the same day I could give my notice in, I had 4 missed calls. I thought, this is the universe telling me, go and do it. So I called them back and I was like, I'm ready, I'll do it. And that the following February, I went into the show.
How has the show changed your life? Like and it can mean on whichever level, personal, work. Mm-hmm. How has it actually changed your life and changed who you are?
I think it's changed my life in the sense of I've learned so much more about myself. I think I said before, like I'm just so grateful that people could see me for just being real. I've come out, I've had a lot of love from people. You know, I haven't been trolled, touch wood. I think I'm just so grateful for that. But learning about like the whole thing, the spectrum thing, like I always knew I was different. But until you're catapulted into something so, like that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like in terms of the pressure, the not knowing what you're doing every day, getting told what to do every day. Like it was the hardest graft I've ever done for 3 months in my whole life. So just being able to like learn about myself in that way, but then being able to be given a platform that I can help people. Like I know, I said this to you before, I know I'm here to help people. Like I know that's why I'm put on this world. And I think that I needed to do a TV show like that to be able to be given a platform to be able to then go and do things. Like I'm doing loads of stuff with charity, doing stuff with baby baskets, Sefton baby baskets. I'm doing stuff with women who want to feel better about themselves. I'm doing stuff, loads of football charity matches for kids with leukemia, kids with cerebral palsy. Like I'm doing as much as I can with my platform because I see people in the public eye and I think, you've got a platform. Why are you not doing more? I don't get that. Because that gives you more, I don't know, like love in your body than anything.
Everything about you is real, is authentic. And like you say, you're in the public eye, you're an influencer in a certain
hate that
vein.
word.
I know.
Hate
that's
it.
why I didn't want to say it. But you have been influential and you can now be influential in the right way.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what you're saying. You're saying that you're going to use this platform to help other women, to inspire other women, to get a message out there about our well-being and about the fact that it's never too late to do something. And
it's small changes though as well. It's like I've been talking a lot at the minute about like gut microbiome and like your health and how like your gut is so important because it changes it can create like mood swings, it can create depression, it can create, if you're not fueling your body right, if you're eating the wrong things and you've not been tested and all these type of, like I'm so invested in all of that side now. I think when you hit a certain age, you're so bothered about what your body can do, what it can't do. And I think before my partying days, God, I'd put anything in my body and I'd just have a great time. You don't care. So I think even that side, being able to educate and understand myself, like obviously, I'm bringing my supplements out. Like I haven't just thought one day, I'm going to bring a load of supplements out because I've got loads of followers, they'll buy it. That's not it. I've been working on this for near a year and it's a case of me going to spend a load of money to learn and educate myself on the gut, about other things that can go in your body, other supplements, and then creating something. Because I'm not just going to try and sell a load of shit to people. I suppose that's where the influencer part can come in. Yeah. But it's influencing people on the right thing. And I don't think I class myself as someone, like, you won't see me selling teeth whitening strips or random bits and bobs on Instagram, like what a lot of people do. Nothing wrong with it, people who do that, but that's not me.
You know, we look at a lot of the positives that go on at Married at First Sight and all the different moments. Are there any negatives that you experienced?
For me personally, I experienced a lot of anxiety in there, but I think that was more from the person I was partnered with. I think if I was given a person that I'd asked for or someone who was more on my wavelength, I think I wouldn't be riddled with anxiety. I wouldn't have lost myself, wouldn't have lost my confidence. I suppose they're the negatives that did come from my personal experiences, that I did lose myself in there. I don't think that's necessarily the show's fault. I think that was me being put in a high pressure cooker. I've never experienced such pressure in my life. And, you know, even at a dinner party, you go to dinner now, you go with probably 4-6 friends, wouldn't you? You wouldn't go with 20 odd brand new people all shouting over each other, all trying to get the limelight because everyone's there and they all want to be on screen. And it's like, I'd sit there and I'd want the chair to swallow me sometimes. So I suppose it's not from a show's point of view of the negativity, it's more my personal point of view of, losing the confidence, the feeling of anxiety in there, the stress of it. It's not for the faint-hearted doing that show. Doing any show. Yeah. I think you've got to have thick skin. And I thought I had thicker skin than I did going into that show. I thought I was cockier than I was going into that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, it's definitely, if anyone's ever thinking about doing a TV show, reality show, I'd say think about it 3 times and think about it another 100 times before you just, because I'm very much off the whim, I'll just try everything once. That's me.
Yeah.
But that was hard.